sit right down. He's going to come and join us shortly. Here you go, Mr. King.
We're here at the one Packard Hall Music Hall, Packard Music Hall, and we had one great night of boxing, beyond my expectations. And I was prognosticating and speculating that it was going to be a sensational blockbuster. It fulfilled the prophecy and some. So I'm very happy and delighted that we could bring this happy match to you, and to be able to thank all the people that helped to make it possible. You know what I mean? It's too many to name, but they're there. And I want to thank the governor, Divine, for having us, hosting us in this great state, and the Resort Hotel for housing us, and the fighters were just superb. Every match outdid itself, and it was just a great, great evening of boxing. And it had me sitting on the edge of my chair. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. You know, and that's what they say, when is the next one? That is what you give the people what you want. And when you fight, I think about the OJs, as I always say. The OJs has 3 national anthems for black and white alike. They smile at your face, but all the time they want to take your face a back step. And they say money, 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 money. They take advantage of your women's salary, their body, money, money. That's money. Money is a temptation. Yield not to temptation. Because if you yield to temptation, that's sin. You know what I mean? And so that would come up. And then they say, give the people what they want. And that's what we did tonight. We gave the people what they wanted. A moment of respite from the COVID-19 pandemic. And for that moment, and now we have to go back to it, but we're going to be prepared for it. Not be able to go feeling politicized. They were told what to do, and how to do, and then the one who tells you to do it, do something different. You know what I mean? But we have to be able to do it because it's the right thing to do. It's better to have your shot and wear your medal and not need it than to need it and not have it. You know what I mean? And many of them told me that, and some that was leaving, and some still stay here. So, but the idea is, you know, convince a man against his will, you'll be of the same opinion still. So you got to be able to persuade people and induce them, inspire them to do what's right for themselves. And these fighters, yesterday's nobodies, or tomorrow's somebody. And I think all did a magnificent job. And so we want to press to get an opportunity to carry to their constituencies around the world and all their communities that they see 6 great fights that had all of the title fights. And the one who came in overweight, he prevented the one who didn't come in overweight from getting the title. He wins the fight. He can't get the title, but at least he got it blank, you know, so the title is absent of a champion. So he got an opportunity now to go back and lose that weight. You know, he ate a little bit too much. You know what I mean? So he lost it on the scale. You know what I mean? So these are the things that are happening now, and I'm just so happy to be at the music hall. To be able to address you. I feel honored, and I feel honored being sitting with these fighters who walked that 3 steps and demonstrated manhood. M-A-N-H-O-H-O-O-D. You know what I mean? Because everybody can talk that talk, but they don't walk that walk. And not one of these fighters came in there to lay down or to roll over and play dead. They all came in to win. And that's what makes a great evening of boxing and then tomorrow's future of greatness. And so coming home and being with the people, being a promoter of the people, by the people, and for the people, that is what my magic is. It lies with my people ties. So if anybody have any questions, we got to think all of the people that my staff and ones that were here, everybody worked together. We call it teamwork. And there's no I in team. It's a T-E-A-M. It's on the B-E-A-M. And when you have it that way, you can work together. And not being competitive, but cooperative. You know what I mean? And so we want to be able to say thank you, thank you, thank you to the people who came, but they certainly did get an eyeful and get their money's worth, whatever it was. And when you go to see something exciting, and it's been extolled virtuously, it's been put out with propaganda and speculation and sensation. Well, we did that. This show did it itself. It spoke loud and clear for itself. The show spoke for itself to the world, not just for here in the state of Ohio or at the music hall here at the Packard Music Hall, all over the world. You know what I mean? So all of these countries that witnessed this fight tonight, They got to go away with a sense of art because they've seen some great boxing here tonight, but it showed art, determination. You know what I mean? This is what say, never say die attitude. Coming back, you knock me down, get back up, dust myself off, and get back into the game again. So here we are. So any questions anybody wants?
You want Trevor to say a couple comments about his big victory tonight? Go ahead, Trevor.
There you go, Trevor. Trevor had to fight. That's what I like about Trevor. He didn't give in, he didn't give up, he didn't quit. He kept staying there until he was there. That's what the dream. But I must say that Trevor is Trevor, and he got to go out there and work to fulfill that dream. And bravely, he gonna do that. Because the one thing about him, he's intelligent, he's inspiring, he's motivating, and he talks to kids, he goes back into the community, and he knows what he has to do. So here is the heavyweight champion of the world, the dream, Trevor Bryan.
Thank you, BK. Thank you, everybody that came out to watch this fight at the Packers Center in Ohio. I really appreciate you guys. Shout out to my team, my head coach, Stacey McKinley, team coordinator, Messiah Edie, my cut man, Perez, my strength and conditioning coach, Ramon and Jeff Williams. I just want to say that this was a great fight. So shout out to Jonathan Guidry and his team as well. He definitely came out here to fight. It wasn't letting up whatsoever. But still, I am the champion, and still, I'm going to keep on continuing my legacy. Tonight was a great fight tonight. Like I said, we was going to bring the heat out here to Ohio, and we definitely did that between me and this fighter. We fought hard, 12 rounds, and like I said, shout out to his team again. But this story for me continues to go on. Like I said, there's a lot of different names out there for me on the table, and I'm going to have to go to the drawing board myself and recreate myself as well, because there's much more you guys can see from Trevor Bryan and the Dream Team. And I just want to say that to you guys. I love my fans, and I love everybody that came out here. And I appreciate it. I'm going to give the mic over to Stacey McKinley, my head coach.
That's the thing. Well, we was we was victorious tonight. It was a very, very tough fight, and Gentry gave a hell of a fight. And style makes fights. And I was telling Trevor earlier, this kid's about a 5'11", so he's gonna try to get underneath you. He's a smaller guy, but he's quick. So you gotta take all his speed and everything in consideration, because most of the guys are big, like Trevor. They don't have the speed that this kid has. And the kid was very determined to win. I mean, he's very hungry. And he took some hell of a shots. And like I was telling Trevor during the fight, I think it's 7 to 8 rounds since the fight is close. You have to pull this fight out the last 3 rounds. I said, because the fight is close. And I can see where this kid was gaining momentum, and then Trevor would take it away from him. But I have to say, he took some hell of a shots, some hell of a body shots. And he stayed right there, right to the end. So we got to go back to the drawing board and train a little bit harder and get ready, because now we're going off in some deep water, and we got to be ready for that. It's not going to be easy. Thank you.
You're going to see a different Trevor Bryan next fight.
From Jonathan Guidry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something here, but this young man is about to be introduced is Jonathan. I call him Jonathan, the sensation, Louisiana sensation. And he lived up to every bit of that, that sensationalism tonight. This man here, just like Stacey was saying, he was smaller, but he not only that, he was determined. He came back. His vibrancy, his ability to never say die attitude, he demonstrated that and illustrated it so everyone can see and bear witness to when you're fighting a guy who is the champion, and the dreamer is a champion. He took it out last year, a year from tonight. Last year, he beat Bermain, knocked him out in the 11th round. And so he comes on in the last of the rounds, and he got this one in the 12th round or whatever it was that was there. But this young man here made him fight. And that's what you really want when you go out there to get somebody, because it gives you the determination. It shows the inspiration, the motivation to say, yes, I can, when everyone says, no, you can't. So a special thanks and congratulations goes to this Louisiana sensation. And I'm looking forward to being able to promote him again in some of the elimination matches to give him an opportunity to again fight for the title. And we've got a lot of heavyweight champions out there, so we're gonna start visiting other ones, so we have more than just one here on this side of this side of the aisle. But now, let me give you, without further ado, the man who helped make this show a fantastic show, Jonathan, Sensation, Louisiana Sensation.
For this opportunity, and it was a great fight. Just wish I had a little bit more time to train, but like I said, I got real hard. Came out there fighting, the guys real big. Just want to thank y'all. Like I said, I really ain't got much to say. I'm ready for the next one. I was like, I know they ain't probably get a rematch right away, but if they can get me on, build me back up in a couple fights, I think I have what it takes to get back in better shape, get my body for a little while. So I think I was close in the rounds, I should have worked more in the inside when I was close, but I was trying to preserve myself a little too much. So
Same thing with me too.
I think we can do it again. We can do it again. We can do it again.
Rounds should have jumped on me, but
Well, he should have, but he got caught. He got hurt with a jab. He was hurt with a jab. So, all right, so we can do it again.
my jab work is right there.
Yeah, he was hurt too. So we can do it again, anytime. I took this fight for 4 weeks.
Yeah, we said
So we can.
I ain't know your days.
I did good with the champ. I feel like I did real good for my first 12 round fight. I only been 8 rounds, 12 round fight.
Yeah, because you
We
promised me
trained
not
4
to be
weeks.
Same everything.
Yeah, so I was not good. You couldn't do it.
I'm gonna let you talk.
You couldn't do it. And if you look at the fucking time,
Yeah, I should have
what
stepped
it
on
was
that round in
after the
the
bell,
seventh round.
it was after the fucking bell when I dropped after the bell. Look at the tape, look at the fight, look at the time.
I hit you at the
It was
bell.
after. The bell, the bell went over. Look at the clock. Look at the clock. Last round, watch it. Just watch the fight. The last round when I fell was after the time.
It's still fight, you see what I mean?
So,
This is great, unbelievable. All right.
like I said, I was underdog the whole fight. So it is what it is. I would love to do it again. And like I said, he's a champion. And, I mean, like I said, we can do it again, or if I got he's going to fight somebody else, I'll build my way up and we can meet up again. I'm ready to, like I said, straight off a boat, and we was all up in the ring tonight, so it is what it is.
Okay, Carlos, go ahead with your question.
Thanks everyone for your time. First of all, Trevor, you mentioned earlier you were talking about you needing to maybe reinvent yourself and go back to the drawing board. What were some of the things that you kind of thought that maybe you need to work on a little bit more, especially given it's been a year since you last fight? Did that sort of play a little bit of role in how you fought to that ring rust?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, reinvent myself. Me and my coach, strength and conditioning coach, we're gonna get right back into the gym. We're not gonna. Now that I got the title, I made my first defense. I want to get back in the ring by at least 3-4 months. And like I said, reinvent myself. There's much more things I can work on. I got a lot of stuff I can show. There's a lot of stuff I did show during this fight, but I just want to improve on that because, like you said, we're going overseas next, and we're going to go on deep water on that side. You can't have no close fights like that. So that's why I have to reinvent my own style. Keep doing what Trevor Bryan does best. And like I said, just keep on improving. And definitely, I know everybody's saying, cut my weight down a little more. I definitely got to cut my weight down, come down 255, 250, and that's what we're going to do.
You just mentioned maybe wanting to go going overseas. Do you have a particular name in mind? Is there plans already sort of in place?
Well, the top 3 guys I mentioned already. Mm-hmm. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and my mandatory position. Well, you said that's the guys that I'm mentioning. If anybody else comes along, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work towards that. But that's the 3 guys that I'm after.
Hey, Trevor Bryan, Crash Out, the Spit Bucket Podcast. With you being champion, the world champion, why do you have to wait for these other champions? You being a champion, you should get these opportunities now.
Exactly, and like I said, these heavyweights talk a lot. But when the time for the contracts to come and names to be printed and signed on these people, it's not coming as fast as you think. Don't listen to all that internet talk and jabbering. Because anytime when DK called me and said, yo, I got this on the table, I'm right there. Where the pen at? Let me sign, because I want to prove myself. Like I said, I'm starting my legacy here.
Let me answer that. That's a good question. And the reason that he couldn't fight was because the WBA rules wouldn't allow him to fight. It isn't that Trevor didn't want to fight, he wanted to fight every month. But we couldn't get him no match because we had a guy named Sharp who was there as a champion in recess, and he kept confusing everybody, thinking that he's going to do this, that, but the what they call the Homeland Security wouldn't allow him to come into the country. And so they made up a lot of lies about me, and I prevented him from, I didn't go to the homeland to get a visa. I went to the homeland to get a visa, but naturally they're gonna propagate anything they can against me, and that's why I continue to win and be successful. And I started my first fight was Muhammad Ali. So it had no end down. I was started at the top and never left. But the idea is, that's one thing that Trevor has been handicapped. When he was interim champion, he couldn't fight because if he fought, he would lose the interim championship according to the rules. Without them sanctioning the fight, and they would not sanction. All right, so then he got to be champion last year on the 29th of January. Yeah, on last year, in 2021. And what happened then is they didn't give us the sanction approval to the day of the fight. So we couldn't even promote it, because of the same thing. So this time, they come in with the chairman, Gary Shaw, and they informed everybody, along with Julio Tim and the championship committee, they at least gave us an opportunity 2 weeks beforehand, 16 or 17 days beforehand, better than it was last year. And all of the other promoters try to do everything they can, including bribing fighters not to fight, and trying to bribe fighters not to fight. So it ain't Trevor that didn't fight, and so he should be completely absolved of that. But it was the rules and regulations. But now he's beyond that. He's now the champion. He'll be in the ring, and in the next 2-3 months he'll be back again. So they're going to continue to go. That would also help him to be better with his tools because he was prevented from being able to utilize them. And he went up against a guy named Guidry, he's from the shrimp boat to the top boat. You know what I mean? So you got to understand what time it is. So, but I would like to see those people get opportunities and let the best man win. So Trevor didn't have nothing to do with that. So any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. King, I want to follow up with that. So we see all these champions, they have a plan right now. We see Fury from the fight, White, Anthony Joshua, and Usyk is happening. I see a fight out there, for Trevor that could instantly, leave no doubt. Would you entertain a fight with him and Deontay Wilder if Deontay Wilder wanted to come back and fight again?
Well, if Deontay Wilder is one of the great fighters of our day and a great speaker too. But what Trevor mentioned the name Usyk, he's in position for a mandatory according to the rules of the WBA. He's in position for a mandatory against Usyk. Usyk won 3 or 4 titles. You know what I mean? So it's a thing there and how it goes with the rules. But anybody that can rank in a voluntary defense, that means anybody who wants to choose that want to fight. But if with the money that's floating around, and they're offering exorbitant amounts of money just to step aside. I think Deontay had a return match clause of some sort, and now they're trying to get a step aside for 15 million pounds, and that's like almost 20 million bucks not to fight. You know what I mean? So they can have the fight with Tyson Fury and Usyk. And so you have all these things in the rules and regulations, but now with the shackles and the fetters off of Trevor, he goes to prove himself, and I'm going to give him every opportunity to do that. Any other questions?
Yeah, go ahead in the front. Yep. Yeah, first question for Junior. How does it feel to retain your championship in a legendary match that you had tonight, where it goes the whole entire way, and you get to prove that you had the stamina and the strength, what it took to defend that championship?
Well, it might you have Junior, but Junior's got a fight that's going to be another mega fight if it comes through, and that's Saul Canelo, the great Mexican that has won multiple titles. And if they keep their word to say that Eddie Reynoso had asked for the WBC to give him the mandatory choice, and he chose Makabu. All right, so this is something that he has, but he can speak for himself because he's very articulate. When we hollered Ali there, and he's from his idea. You know what I mean? Ali Boumaye, now he's Junior Boumaye. You know what I mean? So here it is. Junior Boumaye! And the WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the world.
Thank you.
So Canelo was rumored to have showed up to watch your fight tonight. Why do you think he did not show?
Thank you very much for everyone who come to see and watch the fight. I'm sorry, my English is different. I'm a French guy. I don't know. I think Don King is the one who announced that Canelo should be on the fight and watch me. And I did see also the president of the WBC is supposed to be here, but my manager told me there was something happened, and that's why he didn't come. And,
I do have a follow-up question. If you do get the chance to get in the ring with Canelo, what's it going to take to beat him?
you know, Canelo is a superstar, and I'm also a superstar, and Canelo called for the fight. And like I said last time in the press conference, they were making a mistake to come up with the cruiserweight because it's very dangerous. And if he come out, he decide, I'm going to knock him out.
Thank you.
Did you hear what he said?
No, we can't.
He said he's gonna knock him out.
Yeah,
A knockout. That's what he said.
Hey, Makabu,
For sure.
do you feel disrespected? You know, Canelo being a 168-pound fighter, called out you, the WBC's cruiserweight champ. Do you feel disrespected by his action?
Like I said, it's a big mistake he's making. For me, it's like he want to play and make joke with the boxing. Boxing is a dangerous game. If he come up in cruiserweight, he gonna get knocked out badly. That's what I can tell you. Because I can box, I can knock out. Canelo is, if he think he's a hard puncher, he's making a big mistake.
Questions? Yep, one for Trevor Bryan. You said you would like to fight any of the three, Tyson, Usyk, or Joshua. Which one is the most interesting to you for your style of fighting and just in general?
You said, I want all the belts. I need to bring the belts back to America. Plain and simple. Heavyweight, American heavyweight's been ruling for a long time, and now that he has it, I want him back. Plain and simple. He has my super belt. He has the WBO, the IBF, and that was it. And super WBA. I want him back. I want him back over to the States. Plain and simple. Period.
Last question.
I've got a question from Mr. Don King. The crowd was shouting Makabu Bumaye, which is what they were shouting in Zaire back in 1974 for Ali Bumaye. Can you see yourself going to Kinshasa for a major fight with Makabu as a champion that really deserves the platform?
Absolutely, absolutely. In Zaire, we're at the Rumble in the Jungle, and it's become immortalized with Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. And it was in Kinshasa, Zaire, where Makabu emanates from. And so therefore, it's back going home again. You know what I mean? That's what it was. It was like a homecoming to be down there with Babuto Sese Seko, you know what I mean? And to be able to see the pyramids, you know what I mean, the pygmies. The pygmies did their little dance and things out there, and so many sites that are like historical sites, you know, waterfalls and things is down in Zaire in Africa. It was just a fabulous situation, so it became home. So most certainly we could do great events with Makabu back down in Zaire, and if the opportunity presents itself, that's where we'll go. Because that's what we do. We take on everybody. The one thing a champion has to know with me, he's got to be the champion that he said he is. He's got to fight. Because I'm going to bring the gladiators that's there that will be meaningful to him, and he continue to win and get bigger purses. And now since they calling me from Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, they want to be able to set up great fights and things, well, we'll do that. You know what I mean? So it's going to just be a wonderful thing. But this card here, it was a spectacular card from the bottom to the top with 6 title fights. We predicted it, prognosticated it, and a little hyperbole. You know what I mean? But not that what the hyperbole became reality. It sure wasn't hyperbole anymore. It was real. And y'all all bear witness to that. This show here at this back in music hall was SKD. That's in the vernacular of the ghetto. Something kind of different. He rose to the heights of undistinguished, unknown, indescribable. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy and delighted, and I know the people of the world are, and we imitate and emulate the song, Give the People What They Want. And so what they say then is, when is the next one? And that's what we're here for tonight, to be able to demonstrate to you and to tell you that we're going to be fighting anybody and everybody. And all of these fighters will return in one category or another because they demonstrated their attitude, and a man's attitude says it dictates what he can be and what he won't be. A woman's attitude, the same thing. And so what it is, you can be what you want to be. If you believe in it enough to have faith in God, have the determination, give the hard work that's due, you can be what you want to be. And that's what makes America so great, because there's opportunity in the land of opportunity. You know what I mean? And so that's what we're here for. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see greatness again return to glory. You know what I mean? The opportunity is the star of glory. You know what I mean? That gives you, yesterday's nobody, tomorrow's somebody. So we want to become household words in every kitchen, in every bathroom, everywhere you go. You know, you'll be combing your hair, you know, when you'll be imitating that champion. His name become a household word. And that's what I want to see happen again. And that's what we're going to do. With these fighters, they're going to continue to rise and rise to heights hitherto unknown. You know, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough to stop them from being champion.
All right.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, before we get out of here, everybody, can we say thank you for his years of greatness, his years of service, everything he has done for all of us? Thank you.